So what is this video about?
Right, so this video is about my epilepsy, my story of my epilepsy. As most of you know, I am running 50 miles throughout February for a charity called Epilepsy Action, just because not a lot of people actually know what epilepsy is. So yeah, this is my story to give you guys an idea. So I first ever had my, let me say that again. I had my first seizure when I was 14 years old, on my 14th birthday. Same week as that I had my first ever period. So my epilepsy is actually linked with my hormones. Fantastic. And it's, yeah, it wasn't a great experience. I wasn't aware of the seizure when I had it, which is not like now, because I'm actually awake when I have the seizures, which is very rare to have. Not a lot of people actually meet people who are awake during their seizures, and this feeling is a feeling like no other. You kind of feel like you're drowning. I scream out loud before I have a seizure every time. You get short of breath. I stop breathing sometimes, but yeah, it's definitely not fun. I've got something, the reason why I have my seizures, because I went up to Bristol Hospital when I was 14, took a lot of time out of school because I was in and out of hospital for a long time, on and off different medications, because my epilepsy isn't going to be cured unless I have a operation, which I will not have, because it's too much risk for me in my brain where it is. I've got a place in my frontal left lobe where it hasn't developed properly, and that's why I have the seizures. So it's never going to go away unless I have a operation and get that removed. But there is massive risks of losing memory, much more, but I don't actually remember them. But yes, it's not something that I want to risk my life with, especially now I have 2 children. But the medication that I am on now has it controlled as much as it can. I do still have partial seizures. Nearly every day. I have absent seizures. That's just when I stare into space now and then. It's only for like less than a minute. And I also have tonic-clonic seizures as well. They're the ones that I'm fully awake with. Well, I'm fully awake with all of them, but they're the ones that I am awake for when I scream and I shake all over. And yes, it's not nice. Yeah, I've had lots of tests. I've had the wires glued to my head, I think about 3 times. One of them had lovely braids in that I was 14 and had a job and saved up for them, and they ruined them. So I had to take them out. But yeah. I also suffer from a lot of side effects from epilepsy as well, as mostly from the medication that I'm on, because whenever I go to a new specialist or a new doctor about the medication, they are actually extremely surprised that I'm on that high dosage. And I'm still here, crazy as ever. But yeah, I do suffer from a lot of side effects from it. It's from, I can get depression, anxiety, my hormones are up and down constantly all the time. I can be hyper one minute, I can be sad the next, I can be quiet for no reason. I change pretty much all the time. Very tired, I can get very tired. But yeah. And I am now going to answer some of your questions. I just want to say a massive thank you for you guys taking part and asking some questions. So Benjamin's going to throw them at me.
Yeah, we've got a few. Did it impact your life severely? That's one of them.
I think it did at the beginning when I was younger. I let it take control of who I was. My confidence completely went downhill. I lost lots of friends. I got bullied. I got extremely bullied. I had a load of girls that meet me in a car park, so I pulling my hair out. I left school completely. I walked out because everyone spread it around school, and it's a very small village that I lived at, and everyone knew everything about everyone. So, and epilepsy wasn't a very big thing back then. I started self-harming. I was scared to go to sleep. I tried to actually end my life, and a lot of awful other things happened as well. So I ended up moving up to London with my dad. But now, growing up, since having my children, they've actually saved me completely, and I've made sure that epilepsy isn't who I am. I've got epilepsy, but it doesn't mean that I am epilepsy. I am who I am. If you don't like it, then just F off. Really?
Okay, we've got another one.
Okay.
How do your kids cope with your epilepsy?
They're actually extremely good. Obviously, it's quite hard on them still. I've taught Noah how to call 999 if he needs to, if my seizures go on for too long and he gets too scared.
What were your initial symptoms before you were diagnosed?
To be honest, I mostly just got headaches. I suffered from a lot of headaches when I was younger, so I think that's the, other than that, it was a massive shock to me and my family, so yeah.
There's another one. Do you suffer every day with it?
Yes, I do suffer every day with it. My memory, I get a lot of memory loss. My speech is very slurred most of the time. I'm very slow at thinking and learning as well. Sometimes I get actually nervous about going out on my own in case I do have a seizure. But yeah, it's just small things that I'm now used to. I used to be scared to go on Instagram stories and talk because I think I'll sound like an idiot because I can't get my words out right, but now I don't really care. I'll just go on it and you can see my face.
Let's see. How did you build your courage and confidence?
By going through a lot of crap in my life, really, mostly. It makes me who I am, and yeah. Being on my own for a long time when I split up from my husband with my 2 kids, that made me the strongest that I've ever been. I had to deal with a lot of damage to my kids and me, and had to build the family up from scratch, and I had to be strong for them and myself, and it's pretty much made me who I am today. So yeah, tough times, you come out stronger, always.
Do you feel like an episode coming on? That's one of the questions that come in.
I do. I always feel episodes coming on. I get a deep, like, empty feeling in my stomach. I get a dry throat. I get like shakes in my hands. I always tell somebody if I feel a seizure coming on. I go and sit somewhere safe. I get out of the way of any danger. I'm lucky having that, because not a lot of people have that and they just go full into seizures and end up banging their head, and much worse actually. So yeah, that's one of the lucky side of having epilepsy anyway, knowing when they're coming on.
Does it affect your training and day-to-day life?
Yes, I would say it definitely does affect my training. If I've had a partial seizure, I won't do any overhead presses or squats or put any heavy weight on. I will just do what my body can. If I've had a tonic-clonic seizure, I won't train at all. I won't be able to train at all. So, yeah, but other than that, I like training and I will train if I can anyway. I always listen to my body.
How is your mental health after an episode of epilepsy? How do you recover mentally?
I think it always takes a few days to get over a seizure fully, but mentally, I think when I was younger, I obviously took it much worse than I do now. So now it's just get up and go. You've got kids to look after.
What age did your epilepsy first appear?
When I was 14 years old, on my 14th birthday, my mum came into my room. She had a feeling something was wrong. It was all dark. She put her hand on my face and it was all wet, and she turned the light on. Apparently I was lying there with my eyes wide open with loads of drool. My first ever seizure that was, and all I remember from that night was some weirdo shining a light in my eyes. Yeah, I think that's the only seizure that I wasn't aware of. But yeah.
People saying that you're the biggest inspiration out there and that you rock.
Thank you.
Do you have after effects of a fit?
Yes.
That is
I do after every kind of seizure. I can't talk. If it's a tonic-clonic one, I won't be able to walk. So I won't be able to walk. I try and talk, but ends up coming out like la la la. Yeah, a bit slurry. I end up laughing at myself because it's coming out in my mind as a sentence that's right, but everybody else, it's coming up as slurs. So yeah, it takes definitely a few days to 100% get over a tonic-clonic seizure. With just the small ones, I still slur my words. I'm still a little bit shaky throughout the day, and all I just need to do is rest. To be honest, that's the key of having epilepsy, because it just takes your whole. It cleanses every single muscle in your body, and yeah, it's very tiring disability to have. I don't see myself as disabled. I know I am disabled, but I am who I am, to be honest. I'm laws. And that's all.